All right, election eve in Victoria. 4.3 million Victorians are on the roll, so 4.3 eligible to vote. As at 8 o'clock last night, the VEC, Victorian Electoral Commission, says that 1.6 million have already voted. Victorian political reporter Simon Love has all the latest. We'll start with the Premier because I think this is intriguing, right? The classic shot for both leaders of the major parties on election day is the Saturday pick-fack, mum, kids, whatever, family arrangements.
Sausage
putting it in the
next
stop.
door.
Yeah. All the colour and movement.
It's the thing I look forward to on election day.
Yeah, and when you're a staffer, you stack out the booth, so all these favourite supporter types are there. But not only is he not going to do that on the day, he voted outside his electorate last night. It's been the talk of Melbourne. Is he scared of being booed there, perhaps? What's it about?
Well, he denied that it was a security issue, even though there's only one booth down in Mulgrave, a pre-poll booth. I mean, there's going to be dozens down there tomorrow. So he's got plenty of opportunities to go and rock up to Mulgrave and campaign there. The interesting thing I found about it is he actually told us today when I was quizzing him about this, he's never handed out a how-to-vote card ever in his political career. Have you ever heard that?
No, but he's on a 15% margin, you know.
But usually politicians would go down to polling booths
of course they would.
and help hand out their own how-to-vote cards.
But
he's admitted that he hasn't. But today, this photo came out of him overnight. He went with his wife, Kathy. He went with his two teenagers who it's their first time voting. He argued that his two teenage kids have jobs on the weekend and he couldn't get them all together, and that's why they went to vote last night at a city location. There was a bit of talk about whether there was an exit sign that was photoshopped out of the photo. I think put that all to one side. But the fact that he hasn't voted on election day is interesting. It's not completely out of the blue. Matthew Guy admitted today that he's voted early before. And I think those figures that you just put up, that you just talked about before, just show Victorians just want to get this out of the way. If they've made up their mind, they'll go and vote early.
I agree. And you don't have to reason.
Into it.
Unlike federal politics, you don't have to reason in Victoria. But of course, go to the point that he was out and about very close to his electorate today and he didn't go into Mulgrave either.
Yeah, he went to Rowville. That was his first stop on a picture opportunity about solar panels. And I went on the bus. I decided, right, last day of the campaign, let's get a bit of a feel for the mood. It was quite interesting. They were feeling quite upbeat. Their first stop out of the city was down to Rowville. Now, the next seat along, now it's interesting, Rowville's a Liberal held. It's on a very safe margin. Kim Wells' former Treasurer's seat. Next door is Mulgrave. Why not go to Mulgrave?
Why not go to Mulgrave?
And will he go to Mulgrave tomorrow? Well, he'll certainly be there for election night party, but will he be there before 6 p.m? It'll be interesting to see. Hey,
well, we've talked about dirty tricks. We've talked about these phone calls going in last night into regional areas telling people fracking is going to happen. Daniel Andrews is sending a message that the Liberals, if elected, will want to frack for gas. They have ruled it out. Yep, Matthew Guy has ruled it out hundreds and hundreds of times, but still those robocalls go in. There's an extraordinary letter that's turned up tonight. It's being sent by the retiring Labor MP Martin Foley. He holds the seat of Albert Park. The woman Nina Taylor is the Labor candidate there. He has written to the large number of public housing tenants in the electorate of Albert Park. And what's he told them? So
looking at the letter, quote, in choosing our new MP, this is Martin Foley's words, I believe the job calls for a local with experience. Nina won't kick you out, Matthew Guy will. Now, apparently this is sort of letters and rhetoric that the Liberal Party tell me they've seen before an election, so it's not new. But for it to be coming from Martin Foley, and there is
a
former health minister, there's a few public housing towers in that electorate just from the top line.
There is.
And for it to come, just before election day when MPs are cleaning out their offices, it's certainly interesting because the Liberal Party is saying this is an absolute lie. There's no plans at all from Matthew Guy to kick anyone out of public housing towers at all.
No, because Labor locked them up in the public housing towers in the pandemic. But this is about as low as I've seen because you're saying to someone on the eve of the election in writing, ministerial letterhead, basically, you're out. You vote for the other guy, you're out of your home.
Interesting, the letter doesn't say former health minister on it at all.
Just one quick thing. We had a look at the numbers that came out today. There's not a dollar in Labor's costings for its $125 billion suburban rail loop.
No, there's not. We talked about this last night, and there's also only 20 million at least accounted for, but a little bit more in the total TEI for the SEC. So,
yeah, so the SEC is about $1 billion. They've got 20 million in there for a new office. That's it.
That's what's in black and white. We'll just have to wait and see if, when they get into power, how they're going to actually set up this big commission again.
All right, we'll see. Simon Larkin.
I'm sorry I didn't wear pink for you tonight.
But you always could. enjoy your big day tomorrow. It's like a grand final if you're a political commentator.